be shooting the Rhode Island CCW exam. 25 yards, 50 shots. All right, now it's Victor's turn, shooting the Rhode Island 50 rounds at 25 yards. All three of us shot it. When you have guys who can shoot, you count how many you miss. It's a lot easier than trying to count how many you hit. I will say this is more of a marksmanship skill qualification versus a self-defense CCW permit qualification. Aaron missed 7 out of the 50. You need 35 to pass, so you need 70%. So Aaron got 7, I got 9, and Victor had 11. So we all passed the qualification. So we would all get our permits in Rhode Island. I want to apologize for the Aaron part of the video. somewhere along the line, I don't know, the file didn't upload or something, so all we caught was the back end of it. We didn't catch him actually shooting it. We just got to see his results. I can verify that he did hit what you guys see on the video. Me and Victor and Aaron, we wouldn't cheat something like this because we want to see if it's doable, if it's fair for people to actually try to get their permits in the state of Rhode Island. Like I said in the section where my head was cut off, and that was a me issue, not an editing issue. That's how I recorded the video. I didn't back up far enough. I apologize for that. But to me, this is more of a marksmanship test. It's a good one. I'm not lying. It's a good test. It's not as easy as people would think. And 35 out of 50, that's a pretty fair challenge. Most people can do it if they're experienced shooters. I think if they're new shooters, it would be a little tough for them. And I don't see 25 yards as a self-defense range. I'm not saying you don't need to know how to shoot at that range. You should. But most self-defense encounters where you're carrying a gun for concealment are going to be way closer than that. So 25 yards is roughly 75 feet. That being said, if you are in a parking lot or inside a store or inside a mall or something like that, and you're going to let off a 75-foot shot, that's more of a active shooter type of shot than someone trying to hurt you or someone trying to rob you or someone trying to do something physical to you in that moment, which would make it a self-defense situation. A 25-yard shot, again, you should practice that. But to me, I don't see that as a self-defense situation shot. You need to train a lot closer than that, because realistically, most your self-defense shootings are going to be within arm's reach. They're either going to have a hold of you or you're going to have a hold of them, and it's going to escalate to where one of you are going to draw a firearm. So you need to learn empty hand skills so you could fight without your firearm, and you need to learn how to fight with your firearm, which is retention, how to keep your firearm from getting taken away from you. So I want you guys to understand that, like I said, that 25-yard range stuff needs to be learned and needs to be practiced. You could even go farther back than that. You could go 50 yards. But once you start getting, in my opinion, once you start getting past the 15-yard range, which is roughly 21, 22 feet around there. So once you start getting back past 30 feet, not yards, feet, then you start getting into marksmanship as opposed to self-defense ranges. Again, you need to practice everything. But if you're going to carry a concealed firearm, realistically, everything that you're going to do is going to be within 30 feet, if not less. Where you need the 30 feet is in a self-defense situation in your home, because most living rooms are, say, 15, 18 to 20 feet long. So that's where your marksmanship needs to come in. But on the street, if you're shooting a shot that's 25 yards, which is 75 feet roughly, that's a long shot, and there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong with it. And if you don't hit your target, then you are liable for every round that leaves that firearm. If you hit a car with that bullet, if you hit a dog with that bullet, if you hit another person with that bullet, if you hit a trash can or whatever, you hit or shoot a wall, whoever owns that property is going to come after you for damages. So you need to be able to hit your mark. And at 75 feet, 25 yards, which is the Rhode Island qualification, it's a minimum of 35 shots. But the one website that I did look at, they have you test 50 shots. So the instructors do have some discretion there. I had already told the other guys that we were going to shoot 50 rounds and everybody was cool with it, so we did it. So you need a 70%, which is 35 rounds. But 25 yards, if you're going to make a shot like that in a public area, you better make sure that you're going to hit your target, because you are responsible for everything that happens with that firearm. So if you do not hit your target and you hit something else, that bullet is going to stop somewhere. Then you have to know that you are responsible legally and financially responsible for whatever you end up hitting. All right, so I just want you guys to be aware of that. Like I said, this is a good drill. It's a good test of marksmanship, and it should be practiced. But I don't know if it should be a CCW qualification. From what I've seen, there's some that just do this, and then there's others that offer other stuff besides this. So it's a part of some instructors' curriculum, and some this is their whole curriculum. I think if it's just the whole curriculum, I think you're not doing the student or the CCW permit holder any favors. If you are an instructor and you're teaching this plus self-defense ranges and making them do other stuff at closer ranges or more realistic ranges, then I think it's awesome. All right, so like I said, it's a challenging, it's a challenge. It's a good skill to practice, and it's a good skill to have, knowing how to shoot at distances, especially with the handgun. I know a lot of people practice the close stuff with handguns, but not a lot of people practice the far stuff with handguns. Most of the time, that's when those transition to a rifle. So, again, practice. Multiple ranges, practice movement, practice from different positions, practice from standing up, practice from kneeling down, practice from laying down prone or urban prone, where you're laying on your side. Practice where you're sitting on your butt and you're shooting in between your legs. If you guys want to learn any of that kind of stuff, this is the kind of stuff I teach in my classes for the CCW Skill Builder. Realistically, these are going to be self-defense moves or positions that you're going to use on the street or at home. Because if you're at home, you're not going to be standing in the doorway like this. You're going to be kneeling behind a couch, behind a bed, behind a cabinet, an island, whatever the case may be, a desk, something. Same thing if you are going to shoot around a corner of an island, a desk, filing cabinet, a bed, whatever. You need to know how to shoot from these positions. And the first time you do it should not be when your life is on the line. It's that simple. All right. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. And remember, only you can unleash your inner badass.